Everyone, this is Gab. Welcome to my new COVID-19 transmission. Woo! Sorry. Um, Remember the last times I have this pretty fun times, creating with all of you guys characters like Katsujori or I was doing the Mosarakawa. And right now I'm gonna start creating a creature. What kind of creature we are gonna do? I'm gonna do a goblin. Well, I've been having these ideas around what a goblin is. It looks pretty much like a gremlin, but it's bad and it's ugly. And if you wait for me a minute, I have to do something with the lights in my studio, if you can say that. Okay. And as I said, I'm gonna make we are gonna make an ugly and sincerely not cute goblin. The other thing is, I was just thinking, why don't you just start drawing with me? For example, I'm gonna draw something. I'm gonna start, it goes straight out of my mind, something that I already have referenced because I was just doing some goblins before, and also because I just want to make something fully out of my mind. So I'm gonna start using the memory card that is in my brain to get some information about some movies, the creation, and sorry, record labels, and record music records or music CDs right now. When I was a kid, there were records. Right now, there are CDs. Wow. So I'm gonna start using these ideas for example for the decoration for what is gonna be like the concept of his clothes. First off, it's not gonna be a raggy or raggedy goblin. It's gonna be something like yeah, more into the tug of war kind of goblin. It's gonna be a goblin warrior, but it's gonna be like the horn and it's something like that. We are starting using Clear Studio Paint. That's my favorite tool, but it's not the only tool that I have. I can promise next week, or well, probably a week after that, because we have to think for the goblin. A week after that, we will start doing something pretty nice, which is the creation in Sketchbook and then in Krita. I already have those programs. Um, right now you didn't see my main entrance with my logo and that kind of stuff because I have to reset my computer. It has some kind of problem with the Bluetooth card, so I have to reset it, reinstall Windows, and get rid of a bunch of trash that it was in my main hard drive. Again, if you want to go into digital, you might need a computer. You might need a computer with a decent amount of memory, something 16 gigabytes out. You will need a graphic card with a decent amount of memory too, something like 8 gigabytes out. So at this time, the Radeons or AMDs, they are very good prices. So just go out and watch. Also, for the memories, well, man, there's a bunch of stuff. And all the memories, for example, 16 gigabytes, two memory pills of that is about what, $60, which is pretty cheap if you compare with last year. The first time that I had to buy my memories with DDR4, 3000 or something megahertz. Well, that's cost me around 130 or $130 or something like that. Right now, yeah, it's pretty cheap. They are just like $60 or something. Or if you want to go to 216, because in the case of my motherboard has 64 gigabytes. That's the top. So it will receive like 16 in each slot. So I have just two slots with 16. That means I have just 16, 8 and 8. But you can just put it to 216 or I meant 32. And it's gonna cost you around 130, which is I just pay for my that is so funny. When I just pay for my 16 gigabytes and the other stuff, you will need a tablet, something like that. This is a display tablet, and the prices of the display tablets, I don't get tired to repeat this, but I love it. And the price of of this tablet just varies. Right now there is a Wacom, the Wacom one for $400. Cool one. It's around 14 to 13 inches or something like that. Yeah, this is a 16 inches. It's not a Wacom. I wish it is, but it's an XP pen, which is already very good. It's one of the best brands that I right now for the Wacom alternative there is on the market. Also, there is Huion. Also, there is Artisul. There's many brands. You can just start doing your research. Mine took months, and start looking for this kind of tablet. Also, where did you go to the, for example, would you go for the what else? Oh yeah, programs. Programs. We have Krita Studio Paint. Like 2 weeks ago was 50% off. 50% off of the Krita Studio Paint Pro. The Pro X was like 120 or sometimes. And for the guy who wants to update Krita Studio Paint Pro like me, it was around $87, which is very good. You have Krita Studio Paint. You also have Sketchbook. You don't need to pay for a program when Sketchbook is free. Sketchbook is nice. I love the Sketchbook interface. Okay, so also you will need Krita. Why Krita? Oh, why not? Because Krita does many things on the Krita Studio Paint thing, but it has the same terms, it has the same numbers. Also, you can just go to a channel called, for this guy is, the last name is Roy. He is a French guy. You would notice in the accent too. And it's very good. He's doing like a web comic or something called Peppermint or something, or Pepper and something. But it's nice. It's pretty nice. He has a nice style, and also he's using pretty much free stuff. I mean, Krita, which is free. Also, he's using Linux, which is free too, and also he's using a Huion. I guess the last time was a Huion. I don't know if he's using HP Pen, but anyway, there is many options in the market right now with a decent amount of the decent budget of around $1,000 or probably 800 or 600. If you don't have much, you can just buy it. But if you have a big box, well, you can just go for the you can just go for Wacom, the main brand. The main brand is around $600 for the 16 inches, which is not Pro. It's like 1,000 something for the 16 inches Pro, and so in the XP Pen they have Pro versions. The Pro versions, they don't have. Mind the difference between the edge of the tip of my point to the screen is like this, but they have like this right now, same as Wacom. Of course, they are not like gesture capabilities, like you can just use your hands to turn around the screen. Yep, they don't have that at the moment, but who knows? Probably in the future. I will promise. I promise that I will buy one of those in the future. It is, pop up. And well, with no more further ado, let's start creating something. Okay. So this is Krita Studio Paint, the program I'm using for. Let me try to move a little around. Sorry for this problem with the setup. I have a nice setup, by the way. I have 2 screens, and I have my screen for the pretty much for the art. Let me go to paint. Let's start painting a little Goblin. Let's start painting a little Goblin. So yeah, we are going to use some regular kind of regular materials, something that you can just a new illustration. Yeah, 300, May 4th. That's nice. So let's start doing the first. We are going to develop the anatomy of the guy. Before doing whatever, you should be pretty sure of. Sorry, guys. This was here. You should be pretty sure about the anatomy of the guy. So this guy is gonna be like, okay, have it done. So this guy is gonna be like this. So the basic anatomy is we have an sternum, which is the rib cage. We have pelvis. Yep. We have like legs, femur. We have humerus and yeah, pelvis. That is a male, so the pelvis tends to be shorter, higher, narrower, open this way, like the femur. This guy is a guy. He's not a girl. So now we case like this. And here's the multiples. So this is pretty much. But remember, I promise you, the guys, that we were going to start designing this guy in a way that is totally deformed. So let's make this like a little bigger. How? Oh, well, that's easy. No. That's the balloons. We don't need the balloons. Oh yeah. And the last one. Here's the last one. Like this. We need that. So we can start doing this. Yeah, I mean, see, okay. Remember that at this time we are just using this. And if you, something that I just forgot, guys, if you don't have right now a tablet and a program and a computer and just watching me in your smart TV, you say, well, that's not a problem. You know why? Because there is something also cheaper called Sketchbook. Just buying sketchbooks. If you're in the United States, there's plenty of places to buy sketchbooks, even Walmart. You can just buy a sketchbook there, some $6 or something like that. It's around. And also pencils. You just need an HB or 2B if you want something more softer, more like artsy. Probably 2B. A 2B pencil is okay. But don't let this stop it. And if you don't have a sketchbook, there is a plenty of, like a notebook or something you have. It doesn't need to be or something. When I was a kid, I used to sketch like a lot because I was annoying my parents. No, not that I want to annoy my parents. I was annoying for my parents a lot of time. When I was a kid, I used to sketch a lot in my notebooks. I meant this lineup or the one with the particles. Yeah, I love it. Sketch that because I don't have much of this sketch like drawing pages every time. We don't have that, and it wasn't like a requirement to study art. I'm talking about other country, by the way. I'm not talking about America. Probably America, if I were living in America, aka the United States of America, I was, having some opportunities to have this kind of art education into the school. I was, assisting a Catholic school in my country of origin, which was Ecuador, South America. Yeah, we don't have that kind of programs. And then probably the main kind of teachers of art, they were more into the technical drawings. I mean, like drawing planes, like drawing houses and that kind of stuff. Yeah, technical drawing. They were pretty much in that for engineering, that kind of stuff. The art drawing. But I was, self-taught, so I just started, you know, looking around and trying to find something that looks pretty much like that. And I started learning. If you are in this channel, you will start learning too because I'm gonna show you all these kind of tricks and all the kind of knowledge that I just accumulated on the ages. I mean, yeah. Sorry, guys. It's pretty bad, by the way. Oh, anyway. So we have the big head. So the big head is one of the characteristics of the goblins that I think. So we have, anatomically speaking, the articulations goes in the rib cage. To the edge of your rib cage is the articulation of your forearm and your arm is there. Yeah, I know where is that, but I need this guy to have a huge hand. So I don't need this because I want the guy to have like two hands. The problem is the hands are gonna be. This is a problem that you have to resolve if you are a concept artist. Okay, your concept has the problem that this guy is. Probably a little, yes, or something like that. Yeah, okay. Now your goblin will have his spear or something. Okay, it's okay. Say okay. Console have. Consider no. Okay. Shift. Option is. Or you go here, selection, and you already did it. That's cool. W. So we know that Goblin has used here, here. I want something like a kind of copy, but Jolish. Okay, this is the hand. What we need in the hand is probably a lance or something. The other hand. Maybe it has the. So this is the main sketch. This is when you start thinking, probably it's a bad idea to have this guy this way. Probably it's a better idea to have it, watching another way, or probably just watching a film or something. This is the part where you can just start making some progress about the gesture. About what is gesture anyway? The gesture is the pose. How the guy is gonna be like this, or something like that. That is a gesture. So is it calculated by line? Like this guy has a line like this, and if we want this to be a little, from the other side. So we are start, once we did it. This is the stick figure. The stick figure. Where's the stick figure? This is your main skeleton of the character. So you have the stick figure for this little goblin. So you divide this in three planes, and you have 1, 2, 3 eyes. It doesn't have a 3 eye, but a third eye. But for you, is because the third eye is usually, because the space between the two eyes is another eye, and that space is gonna be where the place of the nose is. So it's usually like a third eye, but it's Not exactly. We're just talking common. So we have this. I will try to make like a fierce appearance or something of this goblin. So yeah, I like that. Like a cartoon. Right now we're gonna invest this time, right? Right now we are live 20 minutes. I'm gonna spend this time, the next 30 minutes, to try to create this character for you guys. And I want something like that. Help me? How do you help me? If you fail miserably to the helmet, probably like many of us have done before, just don't worry. Just try to this. You will have like a map in your mind how the things wrap around. Try to make the things wrap around in a more natural way. But just remember, there is not a school for this. So yeah, you have this, and you have this, the rest of this. The torso area of this is gonna be like this. If you haven't seen the references about other cultures, I will recommend, very recommend, to whatever is the creature you are designing, just put these guys in a space of human time. Like I said, I want this guy to have something that resembles Vikings, or I have to make this guy with something that resembles Conan the Barbarian. So you can just start looking at Pinterest. Pinterest is your friend, by the way. Look at Pinterest about idea from Conan the Barbarian. Also, from the movie, by the way, it has a very nice art direction and nice concept art. And also, you can just try to find out your way in the era, because Conan the Barbarian was supposed to be in the Bronze Era, because there is no such thing as the Steel Era during the Atlanteans. I mean, even the Greeks, they don't have at that time steel. The steel is a little recent because the Romans did it. Bunch of years after Salamina, after Marathon, after all those battles. Even I don't remember if Alexander the Great was using steel, but anyway, could have been using iron. We know that in the time of Vercingetorix and the time of Julius Caesar or Julius Caesar, he was using iron. It was like some sort of late Iron Age. At the time of Christ, we don't know if the Romans were using at that time steel or iron or some kind of rich iron. But we know that steel has its, you know, his top of the mountain when it was just the preferred metal or material to do arms, to do weapons. Some sort after the year 400, probably third century of the Common Era. Nah, it's a Christian era. Sorry if you don't like it. You can just you can you know put a lid on the sun with your finger. Simple. But anyway, so we know that they're probably in the third century AC, or 80 Annus Domini, Annus Dominus, Anno Domini, or something like that. In the 80, it was the steel. Right now, we don't know much about it. It was not the steel, so that's not the case. is it's a fabrication. It's a novel. Remember that Robert Howard, the guy who invented Solomon Kane, which I like it, and Conan the Barbarian, which I love it. Uh, he never studied like archaeology or something like that. He never went to those countries. He never went to Europe. He was just living here in the States. So he lived probably his main life, many said, in the States. But he has a great imagination. He create continents. He create maps like J.R.R. Tolkien, which was also a linguistic guy. Yeah, he was a linguist. He was super cool. So you can just start creating your creatures, your concept art based on whatever you read. You can just create something based on the Doom from Frank Herbert or the Foundations, the cycle of the Foundations from Isaac Asimov. Yeah, you can just start, creating whatever from that place. And by the way, this kind of goblin is something that I want to create, and I want to make this that way. And yeah, so we're gonna give this guy like a little sword here. Yeah. Okay. So we know where articulations are. Also, something very good in anatomy is to know where the muscles are. So if you know the muscle, your creature is not going to be, because it's based in humans. Of course, they are not humans, but they are humanoids. So they are not based in there. They have a elongated face. That is what's my idea. But you can just be, you know, you can just be creative and do it whatever your way is. And also, so if you have this, you know, this guy is gonna have like this finger. Why? They want it. So if you know the basic structure in human anatomy, you can just do whatever you want, or at least try. Okay, now this is your goblin. This is the brood sketch. So in the brood sketch, you're going to start seeing the difference. The muscles are gonna be working around. So one thing that I will, you know, that will advise you is to take anatomy lessons. Anatomy lessons, not the kind of anatomy lessons that, for example, profile. I mean, anatomy lessons where you actually draw the muscles. So you know what is wrapping where, what kind of, we have leaves here. The muscles of the leaves is not this, it's like this. This is just skin. But the muscles is something like this. We have muscles here, they just connect here, they just connect there. So you know how the muscles, so if you know how the muscles look like, well, you can just start twitching this a little to give this guy a little more proper anatomy, a little more proper, you know. Well, we make a new layer. This new layer is gonna be our main concept. Okay, so we will start with the real pencil. We're using a real pencil. So let me let's do that. Okay. See, these guys have the texture and all the kind of stuff. like the regular. Cancel. It's like you're using your cancel. Yeah, there's not nothing more disgusting like this kind of like the gums just going out and receding. And there is a very first appearance. It's like, have you seen the dogs? With the dogs, you just is mad at you like, wow. And they are just showing all the all the fangs and all the teeth, and they're just receding the lips, the area of the lips or whatever that kind of thing, and just showing the gums. It looks more fierce. It looks horrifying. That's the guy, the idea of this guy. You have to look fierce, and this kind of like sharp teeth. Some of them are protruding, some of them are just too close. So this creature is not in any way human. This creature is not in any way like pleasant. Of course, we have this here. Of course, this is still part of the. This is still part sketch. A little more, you know. Uh, so this is a little more like finished. Yeah, you can say that. A little more finished. So here is where you can start, you know, making some doing some piercing that you want that you look a little more fierce. By the way, this kind of shield wasn't an invent from the Vikings only. Many cultures in the Dark Ages they used that kind of shield because it was easy to produce. It was just a bunch of this circle kind of rounded ports just nailing each other or just using like a this way like a metal round to hold it together, and they have like a huge thing that it was like a ball or a hot ball made of iron or made of steel that is going to help you to push the other guys. So you need to know if you are going to be a concept artist, you need to know a bunch of stuff. That means never start researching. Always start, you know, some project with the main idea that probably you don't know a thing about it, and you won't know whatever is needed to have it. So yeah, I'm just doing this. We have like this pretty much looks like a natura, plastica. segmentata, which is in the Roman, even though the guy is not Roman, probably the guy never this is like a mole something. This is not exactly a mole, but something for you to have an idea how the mole is gonna look like. Later on, the beauty of the concept art is that later on you can just add more details. But you have to be careful about this. In this stage, it's okay to just recreate the thing in a way can be better for you. So yeah, it's horrible going. This looks like a rabbit from hell or something like that. That guy is horrible. Yeah, but this is the idea when you just design something. They just ask you for something that looks horrible. But if in the other part of the spectrum, if you are working for a company that probably is not looking for designing the kind of stuff, but they want to design something more kid friendly, well, you just get rid of this. Probably they have the guy will have like this kind of triangular kind of shark teeth. But instead of being so disgusting, they could be a little more friendly. You know, if it's a goblin with this kind of teeth could be friendly. I don't know, but for many people, is a requisite. Also, if you're working for somebody else, I mean, you're working for another guy said, I want a goblin or something that I want to put in my gift or I'm gonna give to my kids. So yeah, we are not looking for something this kind of ugly or, or pretty ugly. There you go. Another thing that you probably don't know, but in if you were from a civilization, probably from like the Goblin or the guys in the Bronze or Iron Age, and there is no such thing as a perfectly straight wooden. There is no such thing because the tools they have there probably in the Middle Ages, something around 1200 to 1300, and so to the Renaissance and the Quattrocento, probably they have those tools. But in the time of the Bronze Age, they don't have those tools. So whatever we think is going to be like a straight line is going to have its imperfections. Because, for example, when they do the stuff for the lance or for the spear, it's going to be something like it will be pretty much a branch or pretty much a part of the main part of like you know stump from one of these trees, and they would just carve it out until it's straight or resembles to be straight. So you know that the straight lines were doing by artisans pretty much in the Middle Ages. But we know that probably the guys in the Bronze Ages, they were not as advanced, or they didn't have much time. Even though the Romans, they didn't have much time. So many arms had to be mass produced, many weapons. And also, well, the Romans were experts in mass producing weapons. They can just mass produce a bunch of stuff. So it's not like it's gonna be like somebody just smashing with a big hammer on an anvil like we see in the movies. No, probably they just cast it out and they just a little, with a file, giving the edge or whatever. Many of those weapons probably were that way because they were cheaper to produce that way than having a guy with probably like in the movies with probably a cube of something out of the iron or out of of the of the steel, and it's something like iron with. But by the way, steel is just iron plus carbon. That's steel. It's not like there is a mine of steel. No, there's no that way. There's no steel ore. No, it's just iron ore. So it's a byproduct. There's a mixture between carbon and iron during high temperatures in the forge. But anyway, if you have one of those, you will have to recognize that probably they don't have a many nice technology. You don't see pretty much things that were made like wow, like a pretty super straight. I'm living in apartments, and not even today you can do super straight lines in buildings. You just go to whatever department you're living is. You're living in the United States or probably in another part of the world, and you use one of this we call it plomada in Spanish. Is this kind of like a very heavy weight, and it's something like a cord, and just drop it all the way from whatever the place you are living to the to the bottom, and you'll see that is not such a straight line. What I see is they just get used to, but in reality, it's not as straight, and yeah, it's pretty difficult to achieve that. So we have this. Have the bracelet. And this is a part of the. Oh, this almost a job. Most trolls and cultures like the cells or the kills, they have a predilection, weird one, for the circle. So yeah, this is pretty much your first part. It's gonna look like that. So this is my idea, but you can get yourself a better idea and some kind of this is something that I see in
in the Mayans, for example. By the way, also you know that you can just mix cultures if you want. I mean, it's your design. You can do whatever you want. The Celts, they have predilections for use circles and not much of geometric figures in their design.
Are you seen the Thor movies? I mean, the one from Marvel. Pretty much the Dark World, when you see Asgard a little more with the decorations and that kind of stuff, the Viking decoration. They pretty much were Vikings, but they look pretty cool. So that's the idea about reference that I want to tell you about reference. You can just use that for reference. You can just make that kind of decoration into an armor. You say, okay, that looks good. But don't worry, it doesn't look real. You don't have to paint it first. First one, you have to design it. I mean,
the first thing about my Goblin is that I have to create it. Then you have to, you know, make the things a little more credible, or probably try to embellish this a little, but pretty much you have to do this. Oh yeah, we forget about this. What's it gonna do this? And for the moment, I'm gonna use it. Yeah, remember that the goblins don't have very very civilization. They're not really much like barbarians, but not barbarians. For example, the Mongols, they have art. Even the barbarians, the Chinese, they have art, they have expressions, those kind of stuff. But they weren't as refined in the Chinese civilization, but that doesn't mean they were totally guys living in the cave, like Cro-Magnon, like Neanderthals. They were also very they had the ingenuity to do some stuff. But remember that history is always written by the guy who won the war.
so that means whoever who won the war is the one man who takes the way you're gonna, you know, watch the other cultures. For example, um, let's say in the times of Roma, they portrayed the Carthaginians as a barbarians, children slaughter kind of guys. We know they have art. We know they have this very flourished and nice civilization. They were Phoenicians. They were Semitic. They were they were explained in the Bible also. Yeah, because many of the people that reside in the place they call Canaan, they have that civilization. They weren't like barbarians. They were an analphabetic kind of guys. They have poetry. They have they have literature. They have everything. They have art. But we don't know much about them because the Romans utterly destroyed Carthage. Yeah, they destroyed everyone that wasn't Roman. So we don't have much things unless the archaeological stuff. And also we know that it was real, the way they were portrayed as children's lover kind of guys because of the religion. But the religion was also portrayed in the Bible because those kind of Semitic people, the Canaanites, they not that they love to kill their own children, but they use it as the last resort. When everything, I'm a Christian, by the way, but when everything is kind of failing, the only resource you have is God. The same with the old culture, with the old people, with the Carthaginians. When everything was failing, they resorted to their gods, and their gods, they just need to be paid dearly. I mean, like, yeah, you have to pay them like in blood, not your blood. It's blood that comes out of you. That makes your children sometimes. Yeah, they do that. But it was the last resort. It's not like a, hey, what are we gonna go this weekend? Oh, probably a children's sacrifice. Okay, let's go there. No, it wasn't that way. It wasn't that way. And also the Bible, they explained it wasn't that way. Yeah, it is forbidden in the Bible, but it says the other people they do it because they feel like it was an emergency or something like that. They were in the brink of national emergency or something like that. So we have our friend here, I believe Mo. We have this kind of like an armature or something. I'm not sure what we're gonna do, but I'm gonna make like this kind of thing here. And something like that. Okay. So far this is my design of the Goblin. Oh, this is my style, by the way. You can have another style. You can make a mixture between something cute, the Goblin can be cute, and something more like this. This is my style. And is it finished? No, it's just a sketch. But let me show you something that you can do to add a little more finish. First, I'm not gonna need this. I'm gonna make it a little bigger. Yeah, if my brush size right now 17, 15, 15 is this. So you start doing this kind of separating the whatever the figure is using this here that is called black lines. Yeah, super creative. This is what the people call atmospheric perspective. So you can just isolate objects from the other object using black lines. So you guys see it, and you have the idea they were they are watching something that actually has some sort of 3D. Yeah. Now we know the head is totally separated from the part of the torso, which is the part with the shield, with the wooden shield, by the way. And the armatura is separated from the mold, they call it the mold. So, yep. And also, let's separate the rest of the face from this guy here. Same this from the helmet, and also the hand is going to be separated from the stab from the spear, and the stab from the spear is going to be separated from the bracelet. Shield, shield is stab on the hand, and also this guy. So yeah, now you have an idea how this guy looks. I'll say, okay, I know what the helmet is. I know the eyes and kind of stuff. Let me go again. This is the helmet.
I know that many people show you this process in less than an hour or something like that. I'm not calling these guys liars, but truly, many of the time, not always, this process is really more tiresome than they are telling you. Why they're telling you that? Because they want you to think they are the best in the world. But they are very good. They are not the best. Why? Because there's many people that say that. And there's many people who never sacrifice for that. So you have to be the best guy to do it then.
Are we okay?
I know. So this is
My idea for a goblin, so you know where the parts of this are really, they really are. I mean, you can just make a differentiation between, you know, the parts of the armatura, which is the shoulders or the pauldrons. You have some part of the shield that it has in the chest, and also you see, you know, the kind of skirting, and also you see the scabbard. By the way, let me separate this guy. The scabbard and the other thing, which is called the part of the cassoulet in Spanish, is the one that protects your hands with the sword. So we have the part of the sword. We also have this part, which is this, the part of the lance or spear. So you see where's the lance and where's the hand. So the lance and the hand are separated.
so you know that you can just add a little more line so you need to separate the the fingers, but pretty much that's it. You don't make these kind of separations, but you can just make it's kind of like a little line to nothing over the here and line to nothing over here. And here. We can just put some shadow here. Just using the shadow here with the pencil. We can use this pencil line here.
You have the whole expression, which is malefic, malefic, malevolent, malefic, pretty much bad and evil expression. So that might be it, guys. It took me 1 hour to try to make this out from my mind. Just remember some ideas and try to be a little more simplistic. Because if you ask me, I will just redecorate with a bunch of Viking stuff, the whole helmet, the parts of the pole drums, I will try to do the part of the program, and also the part of the skirt. I will try to redecorate that with a bunch of design. But we are not pursuing that right now. We just want to be really accurate. Well, not exactly accurate because that never existed. There is no like such thing like a Goblin civilization. But we want it to be pretty much simplistic because the simpler it is, the more easy for the mind to interpret and try to understand this stuff. So these lines you can use later also to create your paint. Let me switch my window. So thank you guys for joining me. And by the way, there is I'm gonna start making possible for you guys to help me out in this channel. But why? Because remember this channel is only brought to you by me. Nobody else is paying me. I'm not making money out of Clear Studio Paint, Sketchbook or Krita. Krita never pays, by the way. It's open source, free. Not a Sketchbook, or Clear Studio Paint, or even Photoshop. I'm not doing anything for those guys. I'm doing just for the sake of doing some art because I love art. I love to create characters. I love everything that is art related. I love it. I've been an artist pretty much my whole life, and there is something that I love. It is doing art, and also I love my family. I love my daughter. I love my wife. By the way, I love my dog too. Yeah, yeah. He comes and he's the rich guy. So, but it is true. But not always. And thank you for joining me. And remember, this whole channel, these videos are brought to you by me. There is no one right now that is paying me a dime. So I would like you guys, if you can do it, it's not an obligation. Just subscribe to my channel to be considered as for paid advertising. I need thousands of subscribers. If you want to be one of the subscribers, just doing it for free, man. I'm not charging you for doing a subscribe thing. But also, if you want to donate something, whatever, even $2, just to help out this artist, just do it. And I'm gonna put a PayPal link in my channel, so you can just donate and help out this starving artist to go out of obscurity and be recognized among the artist community. Yeah, I know. And that's it. Everything that I have right now is mine. I mean, I have my own clear studio pen. I just do the research how to use Krita and Sketchbook. I'm gonna be very, very, very happy to and glad to try to actually share this knowledge. It's not a vast knowledge. I'm not a kind of know-it-all guy. I'm just not. I know what the schools are. I'm a neo kind of philosophy or a neo modernist. I or something like that. And it's actually I'm a neo period. As you can see, those are my real art. Something that I do using acrylics over Canva. And just if you have a sketchbook, start sketching out of your mind. That is my best advice. If you want to go to art classes, go with art classes. If you cannot afford art classes, at least you can afford $10. Just go to udemy.com and pay it. Hey, by the way, udemy.com is not paying me. I have many courses from udemy.com, from concept art to painting in Photoshop to doing Blender. I love 3D and the other kind of stuff. There is a bunch of courses that usually try to make this course. The good thing about drawing is you need something that is from the 2020. Yeah, by the way, you need something anything from 2020 because the art drawing, the rules of drawing haven't been changed since the Renaissance. Yeah. So if you find a decent like a character art school for $10, take it. Take the course and start drawing your mind off. Use a sketchbook if you don't have money for a computer. use a sketchbook. If you don't have the money for buying Photoshop, Krita is for free. A Sketchbook Pro is for free. Well, I'm not a Sketchbook Pro, but a Sketchbook is for free. You can use it. Oh, but I like to have Krita Paint, but I don't have. Man, just be coupon hunter. That's gotta like to call myself sometimes. Let's be a bargain hunter. Start, by visiting the Krita Studio Paint website. They're just posting this. Man, you cannot pay 20 bucks. I mean 25 bucks, 20 bucks. You can just pay that. So you will have a Krita Studio Paint Pro, which is the version I'm using, which is pretty good. By the way, in the early stages, you are not even ready to do animations. Why you wanna have Krita Studio Paint Pro X? Yeah, and let me tell you a secret. Krita, that capability. You can make a whole movie, animated movie out of Krita. You can just do it. Also, you can make comics out of Krita. You can just redesign the layout, the sequential art, like the way you want it in Krita. Okay. So, thank you for joining me. Remember, this channel is support by God and for you guys. So, if you want to help me out, I'm gonna put a PayPal donate button so you can help me out, or just subscribe to the channel. This is a freebie. I'm not charging you for this. I wish I had 1,000 subscribers, but I'm not charging you. And by the way, when I have 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna get every one of you, the 1,000 guys, and I will start doing like a draw or something, and I will promise I will make the 3 guys or 5 guys, actually 5 guys, 5 winners into a comic character, wherever the comic of their lives. I will start, communicating with these guys once I have the winners of the tour. And it's gonna be for free. Nice, it's a freebie. And you just have to subscribe, that's it. Subscribe, share my channel, share the voice, and help out this artist. Thank you guys. Have a blessed weekend. And I hope you are just, taking a rest like me. Last week was hectic. I mean, a lot of work. Not precisely art, but was a lot of work for me. Thanks God for His blessing. Thank you guys, and God bless you all.